What's up everyone, Jared here. So another phone arrived from my friends at pandawheel.com. Now this is the Zopo Speed 7 Plus. It's Zopo's latest budget flagship device, boasting standard budget flagship specs, but with a higher price tag than most. So let's find out if it's worth the extra money. Now, compared to other budget flagship phones from China with metal bodies, I was a bit surprised to find the Speed 7 Plus with an all-plastic body, especially at its $230 price tag. So if not for great build quality, what do we get for $230? Well, as I mentioned before, it has all the standard budget flagship specs, such as a 5.5-inch 1080p IPS display, a MediaTek 6753 CPU, big surprise there. 3 GB of RAM, a non-partitioned 16 GB of internal storage with an SD card slot, a 3000 mAh removable battery, 13 megapixel camera on the back, and a 5 megapixel front facer. The display isn't bad, but for an IPS display, I've seen better. It has decent colors, but I'd say at its brightest setting, it's just not bright enough, especially for outdoor viewing. But I will say this though, it seems to be just a tad bit more responsive to touch than other IPS displays from devices I've reviewed in the past. Now, something small but important that stood out to me right away was the speaker quality. It's actually not terrible. I wouldn't go as far as saying it outputs quality sound, but it's a lot better than other Chinese phones I've tested. It comes with Android 5.1 Lollipop, and I was happy to see a software update awaiting for me once I connected to Wi-Fi, but the software experience itself leaves quite a bit to be desired. It comes packed with a fair amount of bloatware, thankfully, though every single one of those apps can be uninstalled. It also came with a third-party launcher over the standard launcher as an option called Apis or Apis, I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyways, it's weird. It's pretty overwhelming and has a ton of eye candy and annoying things popping up all the time, so I kind of uninstalled it. And as far as neat software features to stand out from the crowd, it's pretty boring. I mean, we do have gesture control, which I hate and never use on any phones ever. And then there's all the smart wake features, which I actually do like, but only ever use the double tap to wake feature. But other than that, it's pretty basic actually, which is probably why I have no complaints about the performance. And I mean, it does pack an octa-core processor and 3 gigs of RAM, so it's snappy. And this is the first time in a long time that I haven't felt the need to adjust the animation speeds and the developer options on a Chinese smartphone. The battery life's been pretty decent too, with just shy of 5 hours of screen on time, from 100 to 15%. Not quite as good as the Umi Iron I recently reviewed, but that's still plenty of screen on time. And the 13 megapixel rear camera is yet again the same boring Sony IMX214 that we see in like 98% of Chinese phones. Now the software is pretty basic and standard, and the pictures it takes still lacks any dynamic range and has trouble exposing, but I think my biggest issue with this camera on this particular phone is that it really struggles to find focus. And the front-facing selfie shooter is just that, an adequate enough camera which also actually performs poorly in even slightly low lighting. All that being said, it has good performance, a decent display, and okay battery life, but I don't think it's quite worth the $230 price tag, because for about $50 less, you can get a better phone like the Umi Iron or the Ulefone B Touch 2, which I reviewed a month or so ago, and I'll actually have links to those videos in the description below, as well as some product page links if you wanted to buy one of those instead. Anyways guys, if you enjoyed the video, do me a solid and give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. But thanks as always for watching, and I'll talk to you all in the next one. Cheers.